Before we start the meeting real quick, I just want to let everyone know we are actively recording our meeting. Once our meeting is conducted, it will be posted on the Farmers Branch channel for those that want to review.
All right, 1 o'clock, I'm gonna call the meeting to order. Thursday, October 12th, 1 o'clock, Senior Advisory Board in the ballroom. Citizens comments, anybody, anyone here who wants to speak or anyone recent? All right, we'll go on to the agenda items. C1, consider approval of minutes for the September 14th, 2023 meeting, take appropriate action.
I think there's a correction on the committee that I'm on. It says Memorial Spotlight Committee, and that's actually the name of two separate committees. So it needs to be just acknowledged.
Get one. Anything else?
I've got two misspellings.
Yeah, I'll spell it.
Two misspellings, first paragraph under C2. Jennifer Stone discussed a program to help older adults. Business misspelled. And also, the next sentence, discussion. Misspelled. And then the next paragraph, underneath it, I don't believe those comments are necessary. Sentence was just not. That was comments.
Anything else? And then the approved as corrected. Modification. I second it. Question's been made and seconded to approve the September 14th, 2023 minutes with modifications. All those in favor?
Aye.
To C2, review events and activities.
Wednesday, we have our Zuma Gold. Mondays are Posture Renewal Silver Sneakers. Tuesdays, Thursdays, Mindful Yoga and Balanced Bodies. Mondays and Wednesdays, Tai Chi. Power Walking on Fridays and Wednesdays. We'll have bingo again on Wednesday the 18th. Our cooking club was moved to next week. Is that correct? I think the school had some testing that was going on. Photo club will meet on the 25th. I saw some people in the conference room bagging up candy for the random acts of kindness for the trick or treat. We have doc talk going on right now in the mirrored room with Humana. Book club movies on the 16th, Texas Hold'em on the 19th, Quilted Blocks on the 20th. We have our craft fair on Saturday, the 21st. Blooming Bluegrass Festival on the 21st and 22nd. Quilt as you go on the 25th. How to avoid property violations on the 26th. I believe that's being done by our code enforcement.
It is.
We have our trip to the Dallas Arboretum on the 27th and our Tuesday trivia on the 31st. Our October dance lessons from yours truly, Wayne, Texas Two-Step. Before I go down to the weekly activities, I did want to follow up with regarding the upcoming events and kind of the data that we received back from asking about game night. So we did a survey. It was a 4-question survey. The first part of it we utilized through SurveyMonkey, and we sent an email blast out to members that had a hyperlink on it and they could have clicked on it and filled out the survey. The second part was we actually did pen and paper at the front. I think we had the survey for a week and a half, if I'm not mistaken. So over a week. Again, small sample size, but since we had this conversation, I wanted to see what kind of people in the building felt like. So the first question we asked was, have you ever attended the Branch Connection game night event? Out of a total of 67 replies, 66% said yes, 34% said no. The second question was, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being strongly opposed and 10 being strongly in favor, how do you rate the idea of breaking up game night into smaller, more frequent gatherings? We had 67 total replies. When I say 67, I'm meaning from SurveyMonkey and from pen and paper. So we had 16 members give it a 1, 1 give it a 3, 4, 1 give it a 4, 13 out of 5. So between 1 and 5, meaning they're strongly opposed, that's about 50%. We had 3 members that gave it a 6, 2 gave it a 7, 3 gave it an 8, 1 gave it a 9, 22 gave it a 10, and 10 being strongly in favor. So between 6 and 10, that was 50%. So clear as mud. So on question number 3, the question was, would you be more likely to participate in 3 different social events during a year than game night? If so, would you like those events to happen when? So the first choice they could have gone with was on weekends. The second choice was, the first choice was on weekdays. The second choice was on weekends. The third choice was mix of both. The fourth choice was keep the yearly game night. So out of the 67 that we had replied, 5% replied weekdays, 9% replied weekends, 43% replied mix, and 43% replied keep the yearly game night. And then the fourth part of the survey was comments and suggestions. The ones, so I didn't write all of them down, but more or less like this one, for example, this one's pro keep game night. And then on their comments, they said family game night yearly. Sometimes we had replies that were like, can we have, well, give me an example. Like they're not relevant to the survey. So we should have bingo on Saturdays and stuff like that. But like a lot of the surveys on the comments and suggestions, if they were pro moving game night to 3 different things, in the comments, they kind of said it would be nice to have it separated, The ones that were, let's keep it as is, the comments were, we love game night, we shouldn't do away with it type deal. So there is no way for me to put number 4 into quantitative data other than a variety of suggestions.
So, what I've heard, and maybe you can verify this for me, is that we can no longer give out gift cards. And so having known that, I think maybe the results would have been different if they know that they're not gonna get a gift card on game.
Sure. But I would say that even in the open suggestions, and again, they didn't have that information and maybe it would have sparked a different reply, but it wasn't like the suggestions were like, the gift cards are what makes me want to come do it.
Yeah, well, but if you talk there,
Sure.
they'll say that's why.
Now, I did see one in there that said you should break up the $500 prize to $50 prizes and have more $50 prizes than just, so, but that wasn't necessarily talking about the gift card. It was talking
But
about the grant.
Is that true that we are no longer able to give out gift cards?
That is absolutely true. So the only way gift cards can be given out for something is if it is through somebody else, like a sponsor, and they have the gift cards, and then we can decide how we would give the gift cards out to our members. The big reason is the way that it's valued is that it's money that comes out of our expense budget that is turned into essentially a monetary asset, and then we are essentially giving that to members. So the way they look at it is we are giving money from our expense budget back to people. So that was the simple version that I got, because I was like, well, what about this, or what about that? So, yeah.
So since the
but
game
it
card,
seems like,
the game night cards are given to us by sponsors.
But with
Not now.
with the monetary money that we get, we use, so now if we use that money to go buy like barbecue grills and bottles of wine and stuff like that, we can do that. Where we turn around and make that money into gift cards, that's where you see on, like, that's,
You go ask them to get $500, I can ask them to give you $25 gift cards.
yes, you can. The city just cannot purchase the gift cards to give out to members.
So we can, for these other
Yeah.
events, if we have separate events, if we find sponsors who are willing to donate to a review or some other event that we have, we can buy gift cards.
They have to buy the gift cards.
They have to actually buy the gift.
They have to just give us the gift cards.
I see. So we can't go money to us and then
Correct.
us do it.
Now, we can go money to us and we go buy a tangible item that doesn't have the monetary value that a gift card does. So if somebody says, I want to sponsor whatever, and they give us $500 and we go buy a piano, we can give the piano
Or
away,
we can do that.
Right.
Okay,
but we can't give a $500 gift card away.
gotcha.
Has it always been where you've had just the fewer higher end, like gift baskets versus the, as you mentioned, lower?
I think we've always done like six grand prize raffles, and then I swear, not this one, but the one before, I don't remember doing two $500 ones, but I swear I had that conversation and Jennifer's like, no, we've done that before. And I was like, I don't remember it. So either way, but yeah, so the prizes have been like that. Cause we always keep the big fish bowls and it's the same amount of fish bowls for the raffle tickets.
yeah, just I mean, one of my suggestions would be instead of hitting up lots of people for small donations, just hit up 10. Yeah, the way that I've done other events, not game nights, but other similar types of events is we go hit up the vendors that want to market to this audience and we give them levels, right? Like if you want to be recognized as a gold level, similar to what you've done here, but make it a little bit more of a transaction for that, right? Like, and in exchange, not only will you get your name in the program, but they'll announce or, you know, have somewhere else, like how often can they get it out in front? That way we can get a lot of vendors who are willing to kick in, you know, $1,000 each. Instead of having to go chase down a bunch of people for $25 for $50. So.
I don't think it's that easy, honestly. I mean, I
Yeah,
know,
I
even
know.
business and the brand, yeah, you know, it's a struggle getting people. I mean, we do this all the time and, it's a struggle getting people to donate those big dollars. It really is. And I think, you know, even as far as what you guys do, printing the names and stuff, I mean, you are trying to give them recognition, so I get that. I think for me personally, when it all gets lumped into these high-end baskets, I think some of the value of the individual gift gets lost. I think that is diluted a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I was thinking like just from in the senior marketing world, there are a lot of senior marketers out there with big budgets for just
Yeah,
kind of thing.
I mean, our generation certainly, and there's a lot of companies cater to this. But, you know, also, we've got grandkids, we've got pets, we've got all these other things that is, as individual are important to.
Yeah, that's like thing, like chasing down the, like we do now.
It takes a lot of work.
Yeah,
It is. A lot of
yeah, I
work.
don't wanna do that again. I'd rather just go chase than people that are gonna write a big, yeah, bring a big stack of gift cards.
So the decision is whether we're gonna have game night or
And all,
break it
right,
down. I
yeah.
mean, 50,
Oh, yeah.
50, and we're like, okay, so where do we go from here?
You have to understand that this is a senior advisory board hosted event. Me and my team we'll execute whatever it is that y'all want. However, and then depending on parts of it, we'll massage it, make sure it's within guidelines and stuff like that, but I can just give you the data. The rest of it's on y'all. Me and my team, again, I don't wanna say, six in one hand, half in a dozen for us, but either way we go with it, it has its pros and its cons. So,
I would suggest that we do 3 events, but scale the budget. Keep a game night as one of them, but scale the budget way back on it, so it's not.
Yeah, try, again, like you said, low key for the game night, but add several others. And then see how the response is, if that's what they enjoyed or would they want to go back. And do another poll next year after we go through 2004 and see what the response is.
So based on the annual timeframe of the events that happen, like, what would be recommended, like quarterly, or how would you think about introducing multiples?
Or one every 4 months, you know. Terrible thing.
We have a January event, we have a February event.
we have a January event?
Super Bowl party.
That's February.
Oh, okay. We don't have a January
We
event.
don't have a change.
Don't have a January event, that's true.
We have on the Veterans Day again.
Yeah.
That's for them.
Like a spring fling, and then get us back to,
For June, I think June would be a good window, cause June will be coming off of Fish and Fun. April, right, May, June. June will give us a good window to do a smaller social type event. What that looks like, me and my team can come up with some options. And when we revisit, in December, I know it's gonna be a short meeting, but if everybody wants to think about what the final plan is as far as, do we do game night to where we are simply just doing, see, because the part with game night, if we keep game night, is the gambling part is a part of game night. With the gambling part, what good are the tokens and the raffles if you don't have prizes? So while trying to still do game night and scale it down, just in general, having the food and the casino and having the prizes, that still takes a good percentage. We can nix the photo booth, we can nix the actors, we can nix the caricature, we can nix the decorations, we can nix all that, but you're talking about the bare minimum. At that point, is it still worth, and this is just a question, I'm just asking, is it still worth even hosting that? Or if you could just say, well, let's roll out 3 different events and completely nix the casino aspect and all that, and split what we use for game night and make it a series to 3. We could do a Jimmy Buffett night, and there's all sorts of different kind of combinations that we can go. I don't know, we can't make it a massive bingo night, but that, not that we would have time for it either, but like if we did like a Halloween theme, right? So obviously, food for thought in the future, if we can kind of have more an idea of what it is that y'all want to have executed, we can have these figured out at certain times of the month where we can make it, applicable to the time of the year as well, And I'm not saying we can do something Christmas wise, like what that looks like, I don't know. Maybe everybody's too busy with Christmas and, that stuff, so maybe that's not worth it. Maybe a New Year's thing, bringing in the new year. I don't know, I'm just, if we hold on to that concept of game night, even at the bare minimum, at that point, is it really still worth doing that when you could utilize the funds more so across the board?
Do we have to have the big prize? We had a $500 basket. $100 basket.
we're gonna scale, I think where the expense comes is just having the casino. Isn't that a big expense?
Oh, the biggest expense of game night is the food and the casino company. Those are the two biggest expenses. That right there is somewhere around $15,000, give or take.
I'm all for mastery, bingo.
Seven's about, it's, the food in the casino, they're about 7, give or take, you know.
Yeah, wow.
Do we actually have a game night, like cornhole and throw baseballs, and darts and that big board? That's
Like a carnival night?
Huh?
Like a carnival night,
Like a carnival
like a
night.
carnival night. So our HR team pulled something like that off. I mean, if they can pull it off, we can pull it off.
Do we have to have vendors come in and do that, or
Yeah.
do we do it ourselves?
If we did it ourselves, like, we have to put some money into it, cause I mean, we have cornhole. And that, we can borrow some stuff from the rec center, but if we're trying to make it, you know, a little bit incentivizing for people to wanna come and be a part of it, you know, you gotta have a little bit of show to it.
Okay, so I guess my next question is, who would like to be in the committee to explore some of these things? With some ideas and what Jackie and his team come up with some ideas. Nobody?
I would, well, a lot of volunteers.
So maybe, by next month, between the volunteers and my team, we can generate some options
Just start preliminary,
and
just,
say, we could do this, or this, and this is when we would do it, and this is what it could entail, and just kind of give a good, what do you call it, storyboard. No graphics though, you're not gonna give, but just explanations of options, right? Because here's my other question to y'all as the board. Even if we keep the game night in some fashion, or if it goes away and we just do 3, series events. For the board, what kind of, if any, sponsorship would y'all be wanting or willing to do? Is that something that's completely off the table? Because I think that part's gonna coincide as well with whatever it is moving forward we decide to do. So is that completely off the table? Is it, y'all would still be willing to do it, but only go talk to 5 spots? I don't know, I'm asking, So,
we come up and start exploring this, that'll be one of the aspects that will have to
Yeah.
be, how deep we want to get into this.
okay.
You know,
So Deborah, Tammy, Sharon, are those the 3? Okay, I'll have Ashley send y'all an email. Probably work best via email. I mean, I know everybody's got busy stuff, so that, I know you're here though, so however we'll get it communicated, we'll get the wheels going.
Can we get a list of scheduled larger events that we currently do throughout the year?
We can type it up so y'all can see, like, yeah. Just in-house, right? Now, y'all don't want the
Right.
cities, yeah.
Well, but we have city events, like the fishing,
That's
that's a
all.
city event.
But it's our event. It's y'all's event as well.
But that- Okay, is it a senior event or is it a city event?
It's considered a community event,
A community event?
but it's hosted by.
Okay, same thing.
We
with
run.
The veterans,
Veterans Days,
November.
Veterans
That was
Day,
here eventually,
well,
beginning, but now it's more city,
it's community, yes,
community.
yes.
Actually, in the beginning,
Yeah,
it's
but
at City Hall.
But it's considered our responsibility.
So our team does it, but our team does it with a, committee. The committee has a member of the senior advisory board. It has, what's his name? John Bowser from the Masonry Group, Jesse Castaneda, help me out here. Terry Lynn's in on it with us. My staff, our events manager, so it's a collaborative group that does it.
So we'll need to work around that calendar when we're talking about other events for the senior center specifically. Okay.
Yes, I mean, but also I don't want that to deter us.
Okay.
There are some events, I'm not saying that are easy, but for example, like, we're doing craft fair and yet Blooming Bluegrass is going on and Halloween in the park. My team's involved with all of those, but it doesn't stop us from hosting craft fair. So it just depends on, what event it would be close by and how thin my team would be. So again, it's open for conversation. I wouldn't say absolutely no, but let's talk about how, like, could we pull it off type thing.
That's like I mentioned that we had a Margaritaville night, which was our rock and roll band. It's the first time we had certain alcohol. And we sold tickets for $5 a piece and we had over 100 people attend.
That's like that Jimmy Buffett night.
Yeah,
Sounds great.
exactly. So, but my point is that it's free. There's no telling how many people are in town. And it's like, instead of passing it,
I know
Okay,
this
we
is
can do it
nothing.
in conjunction.
So, but it'll be free now. It'll be free now, because we'll be using funds.
Well,
Yeah,
but you could do it in like, well, anyway. We'll
I
cross
just
that
want you to
bridge. Yeah.
consider that
Right.
and appreciate that. That's what I love there. And it brings in younger adults, older adults.
All right, any other discussions? So we'll put that on for the agenda for next month, Jackson. Did you want to do the weekly thing or?
Oh, did I flip the page already? Mondays, chair volleyball, duplicate bridge, the mixer, which I think this Monday we had 103,
103, but I think I counted 109.
109.
And
Who's the band?
it was,
Country West. John. Evening crafts and thinkabilities. Tuesdays, Wii bowling, line dancing, fly casting, dulcimer lessons for beginners, watercolor painting group, art group in Southwind Dulcimers. Wednesdays is line dancing, mahjong, Texas 42, table tennis, Wii bowling. Thursdays, chair volleyball, improv group, and instructional quilting group. Fridays, chair volleyball, table tennis, neglected history, party bridge, and quilting group. And Saturdays is clogging.
Jackie? On Monday, I play mahjong with a group every week. It never seems to get on the monthly calendar and in the published calendar we have. It seems to be dropped. Is there some special,
So is it just,
the group?
is it the same, like, is it only like 4 or 5 of y'all that get together to come and play here? Cause it's different, like with the mahjong group, it's if somebody new shows up, like usually Nell and them will sit down and teach them type deal. So that's kind of like if a group shows up here consistently every day on Fridays at 1 o'clock to drink coffee together and talk about the sports, we don't really see that as like
Well,
you
there's
see what I'm saying?
usually 3 to 4 tables of mahjong and they welcome anybody who comes.
It's
So
kind of like the 42 that we have.
Okay.
It's a similar kind of group.
So we can just add on mahjong the day and time. So,
Yeah. But actually, the Monday group is bigger than the Wednesday.
I just have a couple, Zumba goal is still, it's 7 to 7:45 through October, still 6 to 6:45 on here.
you changed the time, I thought.
It's 7 to 7:45
No,
in October, it changes in November.
that's very long, but it's at 6 to 6:45.
Oh, so what kind is it?
Well, exciting.
7 for the next, through the month.
Through the end of October.
Real quick, I did go to a chair and, commission chair get together for all the chairs for the boards and commissions last night. And we just go around and talk about what each of our boards are doing and updates and so forth. So just updated them on our upcoming, renovation project, which Jackie will talk about in a minute. Our holiday luncheons that we're doing, how we had a great sold out day night. Just a little thing, kind of just goes around. It's not a big discussion word in that. I just want to let you know that I went and the boards and commissions are doing a lot in the city, so check out other activities that the Parks and Rec and Historical Park, a lot coming on up, so.
Are the other advisory committees, do you have feedback from them? I mean, are they doing other things
Oh, yes, library, and they do a lot, they do a lot, and, so it's just a, a meeting to like share what's coming up. Yeah, there's a lot going on in the city, and everybody needs to explore other things, what other communities are doing, so. All right, that's all I have.
One more correction on the reoccurring, weekly activities. Is the improv only, once a month now?
No.
In October, it's staying weekly. November and December, it's switching to once a month.
We'll go to thing 3, discuss post renovation room things for the branch direction and neighborhood appropriate action. This agenda item is to discuss the room names for the branch connection facility for renovation is complete. The room names would be Tumbleweed, currently the billiard room, Armadillo room, currently the library room, Bonnet room, currently the arts and crafts room, Millennium ballroom, currently the ballroom, Yellow Rose room, currently the gardening, Alamo room, currently the Grove, two-step room, currently the dance room, rodeo room, currently the fitness room, and the monarch room here, currently the yoga room.
Really?
You like them? So the two-step room, is that how we're calling it, or is it the two-step room? And that's the only one I typed up and I was like, I don't know which way they wanted this.
Two steps good.
Two-step room?
I have a comment. If we're going to name the rooms, we need to be consistent and use those names then whenever we publish calendars of events or where different things are going on, use that room name in the calendar, like the quilting group is in whatever the room is, because half of these currently named rooms I've never heard used here before.
So you also gotta understand the names that are in there that y'all are voting on. Those are post renovation and what they just simply tagged there. So like the Grove and the Garden Room, those don't exist right now.
Well, after we name the rooms after the
Well,
renovation,
yeah.
we need to be using those names.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we haven't used names before,
Right.
and if we're going to name them, let's use. the
Oh,
names
absolutely.
to Be consistent.
All right, this is up for a vote. Does anybody have any questions or?
I move we accept the name as listed.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the new room names as discussed. All those in favor?
I,
Sharon?
This weekend?
Two-step.
It's gonna be a long one. All right, Sanford received an update from all appointed subcommittees. Jackie, are you gonna give us a run?
Do you want me to go first? Okay. So we had our bid opening on October 2nd. We had one bid received from a company called JC Commercial. That bid has been reviewed and vetted by two different companies. At this time, the city is going to go back out to bid with the hopes and the intention of us opening bids again on November 7th or that following week. It depends on when we advertise. So that's gonna be the turnaround. We will have a big conference at the end of October or the early of November. The goal is to, once we get bids back, having those reviewed again. If at that time, there's an option that's on the table for us to get it in front of council with a resolution and a contract signed. by the last December council meeting. So that is where we're at with the bid, process. The bid, like I said, the bid that was submitted after it was reviewed and all that, there's a lot of things that weren't what we were wanting. So at this time, that's what our option is, and that's what's being executed.
Actually, it came in over what we wanted.
It did, but there was also some reference things that didn't come back very well and concerns. So it'd rather be safe than sorry and go out and not have so many questions going into it.
And this time the bid process will be more like 3 weeks and 6 weeks.
I'm hoping that it's gonna be, 3 to 4 weeks. It's gonna depend on what I get back from others on when we can go, because we were planning on trying to go out this Friday, and that's not gonna happen. So we're wanting to go out next Friday, but we're having the specs re-reviewed again. So if there's any adjustments, that if we don't get that in time, it's gonna have to be pushed back another week, because those advertisements have to be submitted the Wednesday before that Friday by noon. So between today and Wednesday at noon, I will have what our timelines will be. So again, those can move, but the goal is to get it in front of council by December.
You said it came back and there were some issues.
Mhm.
What were those issues?
So the lingo, the conversations and stuff like that, way above my head, all I know is that they were reference issues with previous jobs that were done. And so there was concerns there.
Oh, because the bidders that
The bidder.
bidding is himself, they were concerned.
That and some of the breakdown of the work we submitted wanted and how they submit the paperwork for how they would do the work. So there was just a lot of different
Variances
parts.
between what we wanted and what they were saying they were gonna do.
Correct.
Okay. And that's what we're trying to resolve now.
No, we're just gonna go back out to bid
Oh,
to get a
to
different
what we
company
want.
to come
Okay.
back in.
All right, so Spotlight Award, Deborah and I are gonna work on a Spotlight recipient for December, since we will still be open. We'll still have a white list in December. And then the Century Club for Katie Roberts, Mary, and we'll work on that with Jackie. Right, Jackie?
Yes. So I asked Mr. Johnny Jackson if he could help me out with getting information for Katie's Century program. I was needing some bio information, like her journey. And so, yeah. So, but I will get with Mary. We'll teamwork it.
We've known her 10 of the 52 years she's lived.
Oh. But I also think that when Katie Roberts is done, it's not going to be a ceremonial at City Hall. They want to just deliver it to her. So once we get all that figured out, that'll be shared, but
So there'll be a change in the proclamation or.
the proclamation's still gonna be done. It's just not gonna be down at City Hall or on the agenda. Katie Roberts.
I mean, why not? Say,
The mayor's the one that said he wants to go and deliver to her personally.
So nobody can do except this.
Well, we're gonna let our team know and stuff like that. We're gonna get it out, but that's just the instructions I was given, so.
All right, any other subcommittee reports? We don't have any memorial, no, believe you have anybody this. All right, let's move on to C5, discuss agenda items for the Senior Advisory Board. And each item is placed on the agenda so that board members can recommend topics that they would like to discuss at future meetings.
I would like to discuss for 2004, 24, field trips. And my question to Jackie, first of all, is there some limitation or reason we've had a definite decrease in the number of field trips
we put that on the agenda for next month to talk about, since it's not on the agenda this month.
Yeah, we can talk about it next one. And also the, committee discussed.
Game night options committee.
Thank you. Anything else? C6, receive the advisory board and city council update calendar. Below the calendar for 2023, council, city council update dates may change and are subject to adjustment. This includes the meeting schedule for the year, council presentation dates, and event items, including annual meeting. Will allow for excellent communication by all possible planning, complete training, and submit presentations to the director and council.
November, our meeting will be on the 9th. Packet information to me by the 30th, please. Outside of what we discussed for future agenda items. And then December is the one we do a little bit backwards because it's our holiday lunch. So we'll have our meeting at 11:30 and then we'll have our lunch shortly after at 12. And then as soon as I get calendar dates for January on 4th, I'll add those on here as well.
I second it.
Deborah second. Everybody in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Thank you all for coming. Don't forget business in the branch this afternoon. We're starting last year. Are you still gonna have the? You signed your yeah,
I'm signing off.
Yes. Please.